한개 투쟁에 돈네 다와 탐제 공배세 탐배 춘에 된제베 고담들라 차세 뭐 다 드린데 말한주 고루고루 최저리야 아니 그냥 당원대 말한주 좀치 아니 에 아슈그레다 그게 lojong tsigi me thone ma tu shue de sigi chesan de yin tu chane da ji khasore yang zu da komba yin ase na sing zo de maram zo be chu 슈야디 안에베 굴롱 군주기 좀 버튼죠. 봐. 아니 지피게 그러다 이제 탐지기 튼도 안에베 도저 라나메바 아니 양다고 도베 산지기 고거는 뭐 신의 요원이 도바자 대치도 안에베 담배 취해서 뭐 세년베 굴롱 군주기 좀 버는데 봐. 되니 그게 근데 라마 담배 맹알레 좋아하는 내가 세다 디셈버 shoes.
So again, we gather here at Kurukulla Center to discuss about the teaching on the 8 verses of mind training. And so just like we talked about before, it is very important to listen with the proper motivation and proper action of behavior. And so please set up a motivation, thinking that I must achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. For the reason I'm going to listen to these teachings. So, set a motivation in that way, just as the lineage gurus or the former gurus have advised.
어쨌든 인도다 다른데 말한도 무엇 배워 말한도다 주로 그냥 상만도수 요리 다른 신이 되게 좋은 게 돌이야 이제 향도 거로치 들리지도 제단들이 인도다 향도 무엇 루브들레 투요 말데이네 대바당 안에 지게 추가 되니 와 안 들리지 토네다 도신 생기 여바 인도 자네 아니 저디 말한도 다 취슈에 그 수수 두시디 템부치 고야디 백해천 버레 상부도 제단디 인도 두시디 야고주만 주는 아니야 배연다 하리네 와다 최제로 뭐 수요바는 시수수 셈나로 와 디여베이나 아니 덴데펜도 유고데 디모종이나 아니야 고치 가서 그래 배연 야천부치 that's government 상부도
And so many of you have come here in person, actually, and some of you are also on the Zoom. So even though you are not able to come here in person, but because you have faith and devotion in the teachings and the interest to study and practice the Dharma, and therefore I think it is all right also to listen through the Zoom. The most important thing is to have the proper thought of listening. And once you have that, then I think the benefit about listening the teaching over the Zoom or in person is about same. But if you don't have that special intention, of listening to the teaching, then I don't think there will be as great benefit as listening in person.
So I'm happy to be here again. Yeah, I have visited this center many times, actually, more than 4 or 5 times, and so always feel very comfortable and very like always feel like coming back to home. Yeah. So and you all are welcoming me and very good hospitality. So very happy. Never got kicked out. So far. Yeah, and this is although I have visited so many centers around the world, particularly the FEMT centers. Yeah, so this is, I think, the most visited besides Tushita Dharamsala. Yeah, Tushita Dharamsala, I've been there many times. Otherwise, this is the most visited. And I also want to say that, our great teacher, Geshe Langri manifest to leave this world just about 1 year ago. So this is something very, very sad, and something that really we all miss him. Rinpoche was a great teacher, and he was like great practitioner, great teacher, and he was always there for others. For the last, more than 50 years, he's been teaching all over the world for the benefit of all mother sentient beings. And he was available 24/7. And throughout his life, he did not. I have not seen any sort of activity that he did for his own benefit, always for others. And his lifestyle is very simple and very sort of straightforward and very simple. And so he was one of these people that that we have few in this world. So when we have great practitioners like him, usually we don't really realize the value. But when they are not there anymore, then we really realize that there are only very few of them in this world. So this is a great loss for the world and for every one of us, particularly his students. So, but I'm sure there must be a reason that he left this world. He chose to leave. There must be some reasons that we don't know. But even though he's not physically there, I feel that he is not let down his followers and students. So even though he's not physically there, in other level, he's always there watching at all of us. So it's very important that all the disciples, every one of you, must fulfill his wish. It is the most important thing that one can, as a student, can do for their guru. So nothing else can fulfill his wish. The only way to fulfill his wish would be to practice well, to become a good human being. Very important. So this is something that everyone must look into. Everyone must take it seriously, and this can only fulfill his wish. So practice well, and to become a good human being and more kind-hearted. And that's the only way that one can, pay the Guru's Guru's kindness, repay back the kindness. So like that, and if you practice well, if you try to implement the teachings as much as you can in your life, then this will make effect for the swift return of the young Rinpoche. And not only swift return, but we also need someone who can fill into his shoes, someone who can, someone who's sharp enough to benefit the sentient beings, not just one reincarnation, but one reincarnation who has the capacity, capacity to reach out and carry on the legacy of the late Rinpoche. So in order to
So it is important, for us to pray, for all these causes and conditions to come together and do the practice well.
Yeah, so I wanted to just say this, and also I was there at Kopan Monastery. There more than, I think, maybe around 10 days or something. And as soon as I reached there, I was able to pay respect to the holy body. And also we, along with the present Ganden Rinpoche and the other eminent teachers, that we were able to do the Yamantaka self-initiation. Self-initiation. And also we were able to do the soul offering. And then also we were able to bless the pills of Rinpoche's holy body. So I was able to pay respect and make strong prayers to make prayers. Yeah. So this is something I want to let you know. Yeah. And I know it's losing a teacher is the most painful thing for a student, but we must, I think, not to take that event to encourage ourselves, but rather to take that tragic event to encourage ourselves and to become a good human being and not let down yourself, but to encourage yourself to practice maybe more than during his time and do more serious. Yeah, like that. Yes, those shame. No? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so today's subject is 8 verses of training mind by Geshe Langri Tangpa. This is a very I'm sure you all know about this prayer, this text. This is very auspicious. It's very
So this teaching on the 8 verses of mind training is a very blessed teaching. It's a great blessing.
Because this is composed by a very highly realized being. The author is a bodhisattva. So you cannot compare with any other prayers or texts. Like nowadays, there may be some people with good poet and can write beautiful texts, but they may be not bodhisattva. They may be ordinary person. So a text which is composed by a great living being, a bodhisattva, is very, very blessed. And this can really make effect into the disciples' life, because the blessings are there. Because when this bodhisattva composed, his intention was only to benefit others. So this is something that we should be aware of. 가서 오르다 리베네가를 개와 용구리 다가나 신지 비게 다 가서 오래 냥하게 겐다베 시우유버데 요르 와치다 이네 저 야보도 시라데 이네 기우 담베 세버텔 마음 찍어다 삼는 티견다 말레스 기우 담바 예세 다니 친구들인데 이제 슝tun도 아니 지피 오늘 다내기 지 투면다 아니 지피가 오늘 다내기다 가서 오래 로바타 심지어는 펜바 바시기 300군이 라면 제가 인도산에 디스통기 칠라고 누벌 때니 마란주이네 아니 베 냠내 요야 아니 똑바게야 더 간지테네디 누벌 캐버진지다 용투구요바 또 시작이요바 인도산에 아니 값을 보고 단다 주대야기다 도전 시게만데 아니 랑지 탐바 로바타 까담베 기회신이 좀 아니 벨랑리 담보 도시 생계슈데 홍베단 가서래 삼지민 잡아 로바 어다지 그게 내저 첨부 어다 들으시 지 까담베 기신이 로바 까담베 기시 듣더니 지 그게 동안이 왜냐면시 자성은 요발라 아니 그게 지 치주듯이 그게 말한도 지게 로바다니 초시 망해 로바 단 내면이 좀그 선념이 좀 어떻게 지 말하는 시선을 잡아 자기한테 세줘버다 어떻게 될 수 있지 또는 그게 나한테는 나의 시지도 신착이 어디 지난데 내인도 다 전주선배 제외 아니雄지 Xue into Sane, Monticala in a Gava Sambuchung, Yanzuine, that's all the bear, Chu dissension, and the bear, Gulon Sambunchi, Chona be Chanchu Simba, Majuna, Jig Hasor, and Lands, Tabatuni Samba. What the Dick Joma Chunchik Simba Chick Toniani, Santunani, several Pambo Yungre, and Jamaniam Cherry in Yamne, Chitoba Getuya. What?
So nowadays, there are so many people, who write books or who compose, the books or the teachings, and they may be an expert in learned, in the five signs, and also very well versed, in the poetries, and so that can make the writings look very beautiful, sound very beautiful like that with the poet, with the adorned with that poetry. But it is different, when it is something that is written by a real holy person, because of their strong prayers, their strong motivation and prayers, and because they're doing this just to benefit sentient beings, nothing for one's own benefit, nothing to gain any kind of name and fame and so forth by writing the book, but just to benefit other sentient beings. So therefore, it has a great blessings because of that special intention or prayer, and and so when we study such kind of text, then because of it is a blessing, it becomes easier for us to do the practice, and also easier to gain realizations as well. So so this great master, Kadamba master, Langri Tangpa, is a extraordinary being, who is a great practitioner, who is learned in both Sutra and Tantra, but externally, he displays as being a very content a monk, a simple monk. It's just living on alms, like begging alms and so forth. So, but it's a great bodhisattva, and so so therefore, having this opportunity to teach about this teaching, and I feel myself very fortunate. And also, if you listen and study this well, then you are also very fortunate, to have this opportunity to study these teachings, and so. Just like the Bodhisattva Langri Tangpa, you should also listen, with the intention, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. If not, at least, for yourself, to have or gain the state of liberation, something like that. So at least have some kind of, even if not a genuine, but at least like a artificial or intellectual, intention to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So if you listen with that thought, I think it will be more beneficial.
Langri Tangpa doji singi zebe lojong tsige ma shu su sa da dele sha da dene dane simje tamje la yishi nugu le la be tenjo zhube samba yi da do jeba de zimba shu sa da dele sha.
So this starts with the verse 1. So that this text, just like it says here by Langri Tangpa, doji singi, and the first verse is determined to obtain the greatest possible benefit from of all sentient beings who are more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel. I shall hold them most dear at all times.
That is Karsungorasana, Ruan, on Karsore, that Rinpoche Korangi, that Geshe Langri Tangpa Korangi, Ruan, and that Sinje Tamje, Ruan, Doman, Dory to Sinje Tamje, Te, and Korangi, that be a Sidan so marbe, Korangi, Dushi Shadans in Emidu, Rinpoche Korang was Sidan of Chevina, and a Dory to Sinje, that Tamje Lodi, and a be Yishig Nurigan, and a be Pagwach. 따따당 수 말베 어다 이시 누구를 하고 다 이시 누구 시드다네 알아도 지대 용다나 이 지게도 다 그래 wishful feeling jewels in sig도 what's the 이시 누구 시주야 됩니다 제가 대인데 대 다 개점 쉬우지를 왕하는 누구 지체 누구 때는 몰롬 때는 가람도 고야기 다세 그 내내 강과 단지 이러다 되게 인데 무슨 소보인데 배매도 때리용이지. 봐 누구 때는 몰롬 때문에 무슨 단다 차단 조통내지 여배이나 다시 지나도 쉬우지 계속 쓰기로 왔다 물린들 누구스도 가서 그래다 건조기다 배 누구디 자주 쓰기로 와. 진짜 뒤인데 다 당시 탐부 도시 생계 공부 시간 쓰는면도 그런 두신 샤단티 뭐돈 안 같다는 무슨 탐제티 아니 이식은 누구래 그냥 파고를 샤스 봐 이식은 누구래 그냥 파고를 샤스 어떻게 쓴 거 강원세는 이식은 누구 쓰는지 이게 지난 나는 지대 연락 자체 뭐 뜨그래 돼 이식은 누구디 같이 코피게 누버티 떠야지 센디 두게 봐 센딘 두비기다 직가서 대외연대 롱절로 쏘고 대토지 마토치기 대련 하고지 좋퇴지 요마레스 돌도 신제 탐제세야지 다 오늘 전에 배 말한저도 직가서 에 센디 뭐고 겨워는 새로 탐제기 된다비 돌도 신제 탐제를 때니 다 용도같이 요레스 근데 신제 탐제세야지 쉬우지 자신 모르셨어 심지어 탐제세야 될 학원지다 너물린 뭐고 되게 링지 저러 거의네 심지어 탐제를 하고 요만 했다. 가인스는 심지어 탐제지 말한 배 깨워처럼 땡기 때문에 심지어 탐제를 된 쪽도 연구했어. 델렌 하고지 거의 어렸다. 이제 너보다 안 쉬워지 좀 쓰기로 봤는데 여배이나 여를 때에 뒤자 가세시 못 쓰이네. 센디 된다마도 돼요만.
So what he's saying is here, the great master Langri Tangpa, what he's saying here, is that his the way he look at the sentient beings, the way he see the sentient beings, the way he look at the sentient being is like he sees the sentient beings even more than the wish fulfilling jewel. So when we talk about wish fulfilling jewel, it's very is considered very important, very great thing, right? If you have a wish fulfilling jewel, and by making a prayer to this wish fulfilling jewel, it can give you anything you want, like any kind of the food, clothing, the place to live, and so forth. All this comes without any effort. So whatever you want, all these things just comes to you without any effort. But no matter how much it gives, it can only give you things for this life. So it can't give you anything from beyond this life. So only for this life. For this life, it can give you everything. But whereas a sentient being, by sentient beings, can give you the happiness of not only this life but from life to life until you achieve state of full enlightenment. So all this the happiness that comes from sentient beings is way or far more than what the wish fulfilling jewel can give. So therefore, the sentient beings are much more greater than the wish fulfilling jewels.
어떤 데서 세상인데 인도에다 돈 먼저 남게 타다니 심지어 탐시에 대하디 오늘 전에 있던 거란 줄이야. 그거 지 세디 온도 제베이네 거란 줄 그래 가서 그러다 세그 네멜 그거 대다 탐시에디 사실 이제 생이 거든요 되네. 거란 줄 그냥 돌로이네 이제 생이 거든 좀 용어를 자야가 또제이네 이제 생이 거든 되는 용어를 대세 강과디네 이제 생이 거든 되는 용어를 대단 대천백이다 말한주 그게 지 가서 오래 말한주 딱 고니기 그게 지금 뭐 가르지네 심지어 생이 거든 때는 먼저 언제 제빈도 왔어 그봐 센디 온도 제빈네 하나씩 말한주 배 진진이 파마이네 배 그봐 대단 대천백다 수수 기계 진진이 파마 어느 지 그게 소소기다 족보 근데 뭔지 거든 되는 하는 초대봐 그봐 저기도 왔어. 말한도 배는 마더부치 더블 차츠베이네. 말한도 아메 고베는 인점 날도 인점 자원에 송데 아메 제종다 아메 자월 되는 말한도 속고같이 아메 자월다 아메 배 디메비나 그런도 네트야 거라메 싫어 알리 코고 거래는 속쇼래 와 아니 배 마기 팅기 장당 또 나한테 Rinpoche 시비나 다 피라브리 치모도 시비나 쉬우지기 요래 개고 쉬우지 어쨌든 되게 인도다 지비게 되는 맹아데 맞제 차네 아니 지비 마이 참종 마이 저와 마이 아니 지비게 푸나올레 아니 베 마음 권한 나야지 아니 베 당도랑야죠 베 님은 세 파신 세문이 매버치네 아니 베 보고를 제정체야 그봐 지켜서 너는 왜 많이 제종 뭘 처음에나 말한도 아니 sedil이야 시야 가서도 보고 춘주급이야 아니 배 시야 고급도 맞네 니리신도 배 자다만고 그러봐 다 캬네 나스버리 답네 나스버리 아니 지 저것도네 나스버리 그러봐 어다 되게 내가 뭔가 쉬우지요 되게 상물로디 아니 배 많이 참정을 때는 아주 좋더만 다 되네 준비야 만 samtambi 다 간다 지 내가 로바다 배 lojong 때 도로 건다 있네 GPS 수수 대단 사단 통단 건다 용수 도버티 마다 진정이 파마 아니 지기 배 신인이 진비 수수 기게 근데 뭔지 거든 되네 로 나란도 단단데 아니 배 종들이 지지 로주조 대주조 셰주조 요데 상물로디 로 심지 신이 거든 되네 총을 마도 지기 시험바 가게지 용토에 매버인데 배 심지 신스도 쉬우자ችን 모르도 왔다 하유라유 때문에다
So it is really true that sentient beings are very important for us. They are, it's through the kindness of other sentient beings that we are able to survive. Like even in this life, everything that we have is through the kindness of other sentient beings. Like the the food, the clothing, the place to live, and so the food that we eat, is provided by the other sentient beings, and the clothes that we wear is also sewn or produced by other sentient beings, right? And then place where we live is also built by other sentient beings. So these are all the things, not only that, but every other necessities in our life is provided by other sentient beings. It's through the kindness of other sentient beings that we're able to have all these things that are necessary in our life, right? So just like that, all other sentient beings, and like including our parents, right? Our parents, our teachers, and our friends, family, and so forth. Because of these sentient beings, that we're able to survive, right? We're able to survive. We're able to have all the things that we need, so we can be comfortable in life and so forth. It's all by the kindness of all these sentient beings around us. And so when we talk about the kindness of the mother, is so much great, right? From the time of the conception, right? From the time we conceive in mother's womb, and throughout the life, she has provided so much kindness, right? So through her kindness. So if she didn't, take care of us, she wasn't kind and didn't take care of us, then we would have even died in the womb, right? So, and then after we come out, we're born, then all these things that she did to help us. She would prefer herself to be sick than us, and and so forth. So these are the great benefits. Great kindnesses of the mother that is explained in the Lamrim teachings in more great details, right? So if there was no mother, then we would have there would be so many conditions that can end our life, right? That can take our life away by not having the clothes, by not having food, or by not being able to do the things. And so everything that we know now is taught by her, right? The way we sit, where we eat, where we clothe, and everything, right? And by so this is all by by our mother like that. So everything that we have in our life, is all by the kindness of now the sentient beings in this way.
어디제 어찌난 근데 인도전에다 그 도르도 진짜 탐제에서도 쉬우지기 아주 니니고 차도고도와 저는 근데 인도 아니 지금 전디온도 전에다 니탄도 쉬우나 시제 다 겨워서는 거만 나서 제가 있는다 로와 다신이 겨워로 토다 매버 인도 나란도 걔는 딜라모니 세지당 겨원 딜 레모니 세지 자원이네 매버 디 매버 인도전에 지 심제 탐제 로와 아니 나란도 배 진정기 말을 쏘고 제만요 제요 말이다 로와 로와도 심제 탐제디 내가 산에다 뒤주다들이 아주 시베셰도 말마도 간다 제베 값지 된데 중요하다 좋아. 네 좋은 일들잖아. 도를 이제 탐제 세팅 하는 쉬우지. 다시 버려도
So, so this kind of the sentient beings, of the sixth realm, is a very kind to us. So earlier we talked about the mother of these lives, so how kind she has been. That's very obvious, right? So we don't have to have a reason to prove that. But like when we talk about past lives, like when we talk about past life, so we couldn't say, okay, this is how much past life I had. So there's a past life or past life. So there's a beginningless. There's no beginning of the past life. So where the past life started. So every life, we had some kind of mother, right? So to give birth to us, and so so when you count in that way, then there is no sentient beings who has not been our mother. So there have been there's every sentient being has been our mother in one of our previous lives. We can't tell exactly at this time at this place they've been. We can't tell that, but they have been our mother. So at the time when they've been our mother, they have raised us with kindness, just like the mother of this life.
제단 내 인주단에다 그와 지 가서 오래 만도는 게 타다니면 심지 탐제티 그와더니 센디 온도 지내 거를 겨워스러운 것만 남수이네 라는 것들이 전부 그와 어디도 샤되기요래 단 되게 지 최저어떤 쉬위네 당하란도 지 그와 심지 탐제세에 쉬우거리 전부 자기도 강르스나 말한 주변에 공부시베이나 알리니나 미기 주부 추진도 송고베이나 그와 미기 주부 추진 소양의 제베이나 소주 bombe 추진스 아무 시에도 와 소주 bombe 추진 다는 신기 되니 비게 가서베 미즈 데데와 마짐발렘스는 땅아란 시행기 너제 주 그와 소소로 소소 기타 원제도 무슨 내신도 신경 넣어서 주 쳐야 들어와 어떻게 되대 단 당하는 신기 대다 대츠입니다 그러나 소주고 뭐지 무슨 주고 다디 류기권에도 와 아니 나유권에 배주 이따게지 니두시 추추는 로다 계진 셰브세 그런 되게 제베이나 로는 정말 지중하게 아니 나스는 로다 스타 이기권에 시어와 어때다 사마로디 심진시험 때는 연구도 와 소주본부 주림 가서 소주본부 주림 송원 제벌라야 아니면 소제스 심진지면은 아니 소주본부 주림 송도다면도 와 다음에 신입에 주인으로부터 차선배 있는 주인 그와 주인시에서 강사지 매번 아니 배 주인 그 아니 가서 오르다 봉배다 주진 송도야면도 와 오늘 되게 돈 쉬위네 심지시에서 매도매로 차되기도 와
and so the sentient beings, the six realms are very kind to us, not only in this life but also in many previous lives, right? And so when we talk about the kindness of the sentient beings, from the perspective of the Dharma practice, and also like even as a basic practice of abandoning the 10 non-virtuous actions, you have to rely on the sentient beings. It's only through the kindness of sentient beings you'll be able to do those practices. Like when you talk about the 10 non-virtuous actions, there are like 3 that we create through our body, like killing, stealing, and the sexual misconduct. The killing, is the taking the life of other beings, and the stealing, is taking the things or object, things that doesn't belong to us, that's not owned by us, or that we don't have a right over it, and so something we're taking which we don't deserve, or which doesn't belong to us. And and then telling lies, right? Telling lies, saying of false words, and then the slandering, the harsh speech, and idle gossip, and so forth. So all these, the abandoning of these 10 non-virtuous actions, you have to do on the basis of sentient beings. Like for example, when you want to practice, the morality of abandoning the killing, then what you kill, you have to have the sentient beings to kill. Right? Without sentient beings, there will be no killing, no practice of abandoning killing. And then also when you tell lie, and then the lying, you have to tell a lie to somebody, right? So you have to tell lie to somebody. So there has to be sentient beings to tell lie to. And so it's only through the kind of sentient being that you'll be able to practice the morality of abandoning the lying and so forth. So for all this, you need sentient beings to do the practice and so forth.
다다가는 신가란주 대화침에 추ኛ면 더부 차점이나 알리는 기소 버진 주냐면 거르와 기소 버진 주냐면 제보다 말한주 배는 짐바동와스 당보들도와 짐바동와스 당보들에 제단들의 인도 짐바당에 가서 오르다 버진기 이거 집에 버진이냐면 자고 중요하나 알리는 짐바당세 유 이제 거르와 짐바당세 유 심제지 매베이나 아니 가서 집에 버진이냐면 영토다 민도와 다 추기 진바이는 추시에서 유지고로와 어다 대다 대춘배로와 아니 수진 수마이는 단기 쉬는 시대 되니 서버 냠내이는 말한도 서버 생한테 시행할 때는 서버 공부로와 심지 배저바 냠바 심지 콘도 첨보 심지 로와다 농랑고 되될 때는 아니 서버 냠내 연구여로와 대 심지 시행되는 연구도와 아니 어다 대다 대춘배로와 다 한다 지금 지소 버진이 냐면 가대 제베이네 시행을 매버지나 시행을 만든 버지 영토다 매버지
And then also when we do the practice, the Mahayana practice, and such as the 6 professions, generosity and so forth, then you need also, depend or rely on sentient beings to do that, right? So when you say practice of generosity, which is giving, right? So when you want to give, you want to practice giving, you have to give, right? So giving, you need somebody to give. You have to have the sentient beings to give, right? So and so to do that practice of giving, also you need sentient beings, and so so even if you're doing the practice of giving a Dharma teaching, you have to have a person, sentient beings, where you can teach the Dharma, right, like that. And then for the morality, like we just talked about, so the abandonment of tenant versus action, like that. And then for the practice of the patience, you need sentient beings, the sentient beings, somebody, who is very short-tempered or who gets angry very easily or who does something bad to you, right? So you have to have that kind of sentient beings to be able to practice patience. And so for all like that, and for all kind of 6 professions, you need sentient beings to do the practice. Without the sentient beings, or without depending on sentient beings, there's no way you can do any of these practices.
어디래? 제단들의 인도산에다 어떻게 되니? 지 나란주 배로다 자주게 섬냠래이네 아니 배 로와 심지 탐제기 튼도 아니 배 라메 조장 주배기다 삼바지로와 제가 디데기 삼바대양 용어라야 알리 심지 현지면은 자주게 섬세데 용토도 민도와 자주게 섬세데 용어라 심지 현매발라 용토도 민도 자주게 섬야고 용어라 아니 대자와 인지 되소나 신기 자와 대다 인지디 로와 인지 심부디 다배 지 안한수 배 토다 반순도 개체와 중도와 되니 토마 개체와 아니 사변다보다 더와 와도 개체와 출류다보다 더와 아니 타마 개체와 두고 멤버다보다 더와스 어디래 제단들의 인도산에 안주 징gal 던도 시다베이나 하고 토마 사변디 네버도 거와 사변디 매비나 아니 두고 용토다 비어마와 제단데 인도산에 이제 전부터 말한 배 사변다보다 더와 아니 배 개체와 인스 손을 다음에 신배 파도 개체와 출류도 다배 사변지 답 사변이네 아니 대단 대회 돈에 배 나다 지 게임하고지 또 동국어와 배 지구로도 개라 다 추르 와 아니 셔 되게 망고지 튕긴 좀는 것도 아니 용토도 비어마와 아니 지피게 아마 아니 배 지구면 가지고 여러봐 어쨌든 뒤도 되는 신가도 같이 찾아보이네 대신도 베니지 전부터 배 가속하다 더 봐수면 개체와 어다 중국 여러봐 제가 되게 인지 전부터양 야구주 용어는야 아니 심지 시에나 마덴 발에 다 용토도 비어마와 하인스나 진짜 탐지 동네데 되지 모르는 삼바치 다 연구 여러봐 근데 삼바쯤만 많이 보죠 제발이야 무슨 제시한 때문에 이것도 고요했어
So, and also to generate bodhicitta, you need to rely on sentient beings, right? The bodhicitta is wish to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, right? So if there's no sentient being, then you can't say for the benefit of all sentient beings. Because of the sentient beings, you can have that intention to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of those sentient beings. And so, so you need to rely on the sentient beings, and it's through the kindness of sentient beings that you will be able to generate bodhicitta. And then like I said, the great compassion, which is the root, of the bodhicitta. So from the great compassion then comes the bodhicitta, right? So that great compassion, is very important. It's very important in the beginning. It's like a seed, and then it's very important in the middle, like water, manure, and so forth. And then it's at the end. It's very important, like the fruit. So in beginning, when you want to sow a seed, like in the field, and sow a seed, and you grow something, or crops or something, then you need a seed, right? So great compassion is very important, like that at the beginning, to generate the mind of enlightenment. And then, just in the middle, you need to have provide many other conditions, for that seed to grow, into a crops, right? So just like it has to depend on the water, the manure, the heat, and the moisture, and so forth, right? So all these are like that very important in the middle, and then at the end, it's like the ripening, of the fruit. So that's very important. And then this great, compassion, which is so important, in the practice, from at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So this great compassion also, is generated through the kindness of sentient beings. So the compassion is a mind that wishes other sentient beings to be free from suffering. So we're thinking how wonderful it will be if they're free from suffering, right? So if there's no sentient beings, then you can't have this thought, wanting them to be free from suffering. And so, so this, and therefore, even for this great compassion, you need the sentient beings. So without sentient beings, you can't have any of these great, minds or the realizations.
어디래? 제가 today 인도산에다 최단 지대 다 한지테네 이내로와 간다 그냥 알아서 지 가서 오르다 신신제 탐제세야 되다 심진 거디 셴네 타야 맹지당 심진 셴이 거디는 하대는 안 초토다 매버지당 단단 알아서 초대야디 심진 셴 코네 거디는 되는 힘받디 알아서다 하고도 쇼이나 심진 탐제세야 돼 다친 부인 받다 알아서 배 가서 오르다 만주 상당히 요마르마도 오늘 전에 삼파 시프트 땅가 침비이나 그봐 아니 이제 탐제세리 쉬우지기다 개청보 거진 첨보 자와 첨보 그봐 그래서 인더면 단도 쉬우는 시대 심지 거디 호나를 때 심지 거디 라를 때는 하는 토대버지다 심지 셴베 거디 매비 가서 안줄로 로고탄티 매비는 안줄 네트워에 거르네요 인도 산다 이제 탐제세리 쉬우지 거리죠 뭐 no.
And so, in terms of the Dharma, or in terms of the mundane, it's in both world, the sentient beings are very important. Without the sentient beings, there is no way we can have anything. We can't live, we can't survive, without the kindness of the sentient beings. If there were no sentient beings around us, then there's no way we can live, we can survive at all. So there's so much benefits, so much kindness of the sentient beings, that there's so much to talk about that we can't have enough time to talk about it all. And so anyway, so the sentient beings are very very kind, very important. Because of these sentient beings, therefore we are able to survive, we're able to live, able to do all this practice and so forth. So when you understand that, when you understand how important, how kind the sentient beings are, then you will get this strong feeling about or towards sentient beings.
Okay. 제가 today 인도산에다 배 Geshe Langri Tangpa 고랑의 송단 시도전에 심지어 탐제가 아니 배다 이시는 누구를 얘기하고 그러와 이시는 누구 배 교주 봉주를 얘기하고 그러와 이시는 누구 배 봉봉부위에 이 초지를 샤 심지어 탐제 초지를 샤위는 심지어 탐제디 이시는 누구 봉주를 얘기하고 그랬어 이시는 누구 배 가제 여베이네 디 고체 디 탄다모도 두베 민두스 이제 탐제 세팅 원에 타네 요 체럽 땡이 되마 또봐 어떤 배 나란주르바 타버도 탐제 김에 고바 배 두베 대한 이제 생각은 되는 이들잖아 이제 탐제 세팅 원에 쉬워지기다 진심부터 개침부터 도스.
And so, just like the Kandama master Langri Tangpa said, and how important the sentient beings are. Sentient beings are more, is greater or more than the wish fulfilling Jews. So he says the sentient beings are even more greater. It's greater than hundreds and thousands of wish fulfilling Jews. No matter how many wish fulfilling Jews you have, that can only accomplish the purpose of this life only. Can't do anything to have a better life in the future, let alone liberation or enlightenment. And so but it is through this, but through the sentient beings, we can have many benefits in the future life, from the life after life, all the way to enlightenment. And so all this achievement of the liberation and enlightenment all comes through the sentient beings. Therefore, sentient beings are even more than the wish fulfilling Jews.
어쨌든 네 인도전에다 배로 진짜 탐제티 아니 배다 로와 이식 누구를 그냥 하고 된초도 삼바 있다도 제번 땅 알아서 줘버도 가르랬으나 소소 개첨부 소소에 된다스 됐다 배디 하나배 소이 이제 땅 로와 아니 지금 그게 신심제스도 안주 낭매제 유시한 로와 아니 지금 그게 신심제 탐제 신심제 된다 스도 아니 소화세 개매도 체 아니 심지어 심한 나와 차버지네 아니 곧 데르지 아니 지 가서 오르다 지 안에 닌제 생각서지마도 지기 소화지게 도움도 와 소화게 도고요 말에 단도 지 소수 다른데 때 소수 되면 하도 미지 나부터 근데 좀 단도 왔다 되게 딱히 다가랑 거야 유 생각서지 어다디 미디 저번에 쉬우지에 다 되고 다다 주셔 생각서로 대제시에 잠 레로레로 제스르지 이제 당 안한 삼당당 저버디 두자 쉬우지다 소소스리 개침부 신심제스리 아니 배우샤 어제가 말한줄 거딘 침부 쉬우 인게 남매 담비는 말한줄 미태자 민군에 전에 지 미규다매부터 미태자 지차고 봐 말한줄 저버디 차대요 그렇다 지난데 인데다 디 저버디 한줄 교당고요 됐어 교마담이나 교처럼 도문은 교마담 인디산에 다 단단하다면서 갖다도 맞서 된지지 다 대베 산제도 다 탐색이다 교당내로 봐 아니 배 산제 좀 되네 홍 알아주나시 배 패버지 거래 도마 내대 호랑기 시선을 쉬는 삼무단의 교당까지 닝르나 배 개와 참여 숨도 소산이 다른 것도 산제는 봐 어떻게 되는 중요해 근데 인도 호랑기 공부시다는 교당들잖아요 다 가서 오르다 타도 되고 산지 고만세 쪽토가 있는데 전에 말아주이네 디지스 주시네 봐 어다 배 가서 오라 오늘 전에 신 심지에스도 아주 초아예도 지다 심지 신기 된다 세는 아주 개침부지다 아주 집에 봐 아니 주도 구토지 용과에 배 개침부지요 그랬어
And so, just like the verses, who are more precious than the wish fulfilling Jews, so I shall hold them most dear at all times. Though it says, that's what we should be doing, holding them, holding the sentient beings, most dear all the time. But in our case, we more hold ourselves more dear all the time, right? So we always think of ourselves as very important, and we only think about ourselves. And we can do anything for ourselves. We can even give up our own life for ourselves, but we don't think about others. We always neglect them. We have no kind of feeling for others. And so, like maybe like even when they are like sick or unwell, maybe we get maybe we say, oh, poor guy, like that. So, but we don't really get that much of feeling, and let alone and if that being happen to be our enemy or someone that we don't get along with, who doesn't have the same kind of view as ourselves, then we even feel happy, that they are sick, and then we might even gossip in the back saying that, oh, that's good, this is what should happen to that person, like that. So that's the kind of feeling we have for other sentient beings. And so we always think about ourselves and we neglect others. So now we have to change that attitude or that thought. And so if we don't change that thought, is as long as we hold ourselves more dear and others neglect others, then we will will be just like where we are now, still in this condition. And so all the Buddhas of the past, they changed that attitude, and then through that, then they were able to achieve sort of full enlightenment, and so they changed that, and they did the practice. They accumulated merit for 3 countless great eons, and then eventually they achieved state of full enlightenment like that. And so we also should follow their example and do the same practice as they did by changing this attitude. By thinking of others as being very important, and I try to have that kind of strong feeling for other sentient beings.
Even Lord Shakyamuni Buddha, he was also like any one of us, deluded and very like us, but he realized this attitude of being self-cherished and self-grasping, these kind of attitude is totally wrong, and that for countless lifetimes we've been influenced by those kind of thoughts, and that we have reached nowhere. So he realized that, and he worked so that 3 eons,
3 countless great eons.
3 countless
great eons.
Great eons, and to change that kind of a attitude, and determined to practice for the well-being of others, all sentient beings, and that he was able to achieve this final destination as enlightenment. So we all have the capacity, or the potential is within us. So now we must change ourselves, and we must determine to work and to always the others first. This is very important. All the district, Chezan Dile in the Shen Simjen, then a turn short, to what turned by Simjen, Ishi Nogulela, pay, turn short to be somebody, Tatu Cheva Zimbal shows, Chezan Dile in the Tate, Ranjevats in the Jinzin, say Tati, Samba Marab, Samba Doja, Samba Nyama, but watch of the Tone. And a bear, G. Maranzo Tatu, Shen Simjet Tamje say, and G. Tate. Jinjin Ran Yawato, Shenjeva Zins, on the Disungore. Ran Yawato, the Susu Tandakin Chigiomari, Susu Shineshi Nanena, Be Nangmeji, Susu Sugulu Chegiomaji, the Desan Sungiomari. Ran the Sheni and Shen Sochache. Susu Tanda to Susu Be Rua, and Jisa, Toya Koya, there's a Negan Chasanj Guyori. Rua, ready in Be. Ranshiniginani ran sochewachi shen peri yawata tichi yomares. Ranshiniginani shen sochewachi ta. Oda tichi yosungo. Natu shen ya ran yawato shen cheba disi susu tadaru chazan pe le tani pe diliche tikmares.
And so, just like it says, determined to obtain the greatest possible benefit from the sentient beings. And so, because you can achieve great benefits from sentient beings, therefore you should always hold the sentient beings the dear at all the times. And so in our case we always think about ourselves, right? Think about ourselves, we cherish ourselves, and we neglect others, right? So this self-cherishing attitude is a very very bad mind, and we should get rid of that. So instead of cherishing oneself and neglect others, we should neglect oneself and cherish others. So when we neglect ourselves, doesn't mean that we just don't care about ourselves. It's not like that. Not like saying, oh, even if I die, it doesn't matter. I'm neglecting myself. Not like that. Neglect. Even if you die, you die. Even if you're sick, you let yourself be sick. Not like that. Of course, you have to take care of yourself. If you're sick, you take care of yourself. If you're hungry, you should eat food like that. You should do that. Take care of yourself. But just like you do to yourself, you have to also think about others. So you should also cherish others, and cherish others. So when you compare yourself and others, you should cherish others more than oneself. Like that.
매드데 대사인의 모티브도 중도와 매드데 제 디강나 아니 강보 간제 뭐 공부점 친으로와 아니 강보 치그로와 어디 디베 디보다에 연구했어 아니 세주부터 또 켜는 또 제켜는 마세 저거 동거 전대 어디데 베 세주부터 어디데 류기 거도 때네 아니 베다 타바 두야 데 셰비어와 산제 좀데 디기 추기 추든 데 잔 속이어 말에 아주 류기 제대야고 쳐고랬어 세이네 최대 부사고랬어 거의네 무디부도 배 돌로 켜는 막 말한 비니한 때에 류기 거도 때에 지지 요도와 그때 산제 추 TV 오마레스 나가던 것 세주버서 같은데 기권에 답어줘야 돼 오마레스 또와 또디 가르스는 셈 교왔다네 당기 셈이 용순들 되는 산제 템바이 이제 셈기 교왔다네 봐 셈 교왔다네 아니 배 말한지 지르와다 조디 미기 주봉 주네 야고 소 아니 루마이 소고 저거디 야고 지담 데레지기 돈에 아니 나랑 삼바티 베로와 삼보 상고디 야게 당체 그봐 아니 배 참바다 저와다 닝지다 저배 공도를 당치네 아니 배 리시 아니 배 세난 걸 송치네 아니 배 남기에서 주야 요거지 어다 되지 이 임배 천다로 때는 하르스는 산제 준비된데 로주까지 나와 로주까지 나니 로주까지 되니 비게 서베 로주까지 주고 아니 참조나네 봐 아니 디 심배 보면 레게만 쉬어야 되기 아니 쇼핑이 봐 쇼핑은 쇼드 쉐브로 봐 일단 로기 가도 때는 그거 좀 매버디 산제기다 로주까지 아니 다 타버 두고 매버디 하긴 버때 말아 봐 이제 진주 뒤져서 말한 줄이야 남된다 맞나 나네 봐다 로기 가도 때야디 되려면도 다 사람들 메시지 산제기 잡아 가리 있는 사람들 메시지 예 그래 어쨌든 디레 인데서네 지카서 오래다 나 루지가도 때야디 용매버지 원진여에 되더라 루주까지 전에 안 되지 쇼시네로 와 아니 맞아 루지 제대로 못 치고 와 사실 풍부디 지 나쳐줘 아리네 강에 쳐주시려도 와 내나서 영주죠 다 캬는 나쳐줘 차어지는 나쳐줘 지금 뭐지 여러 봐 지금 되고 다다 주고 제대 쳐고 이렇게 전부 인버디 산이 송고 여러 봐
So, in the earlier time in India, this practice, the hardship practice, through the hardship practice was very popular. So they believe that if you go through this physical hardship, then you can purify the negativities, and then through that you can achieve salvation or liberation and so forth like that. So like there's a so where they completely stop eating, or some they even have like where they walk on the fire. So if you walk on the fire, you burn your feet, and that way you get your negative actions gets purified. Your negative karmas get purified like that. But in Buddhism, that is not how it is. So just by going through the physical hardship, you can't purify the negativities, or let alone achieving salvation like that. But in order to do the practice, so most important thing is to change the mind, right? To not engaging in that kind of physical hardship, but transforming the mind. So it says, and of course you have to eat You have to wear clothes. There are like some Hindu practitioners where they go completely naked without any clothes like that, right? And so in Buddhism, it says we have to eat. You have to eat in moderation, and you have to also wear clothes, to keep your body warm and so forth. So you need that. The most important thing is to change the mind, not the physical body, but change the mind. So, like you said, subdue your mind, and this is the teachings of the Buddha. So you have to change your mind. Changing the mind, from that kind of self-cherishing mind, to cherishing others, like that. That kind of changing the mind is very important. So, like engaging in the practice, of the abandoning the 10 non-virtuous action and restraining, the non-virtuous actions of the body, speech, and so forth, and then developing, the loving kindness, affectionate love, great compassion, and so forth, and then through that, then you can achieve a state of full enlightenment or a state of omniscience, right? And so, so that physical, the hardship practice, is not appropriate, and that's also proven by the Buddha Shakyamuni during his time, right? So at the beginning, he engaged in this kind of physical hardship practice, for 6 years, and then he lost, he completely stopped eating, and then he lost, his strength, and he was very weak, so couldn't do his practice, and then eventually, this lady, what's her name? Huh? What's her name? Sujata, yeah, sorry. So I was trying to remember the name in English, Sujata, right? So she...
Madam Sujata.
Sujata came, at the riverbank, where Buddha was almost fainting, right? So, and then she offered him the yogurt, and then he, took the yogurt, and then he gained strength, and then he's, in a practice. So, and so that, was kind of a message, for us, So that's not, it's not, a right, to do that kind of physical hardship practice like that. So any kind of, the activities that Buddha does is kind of a, lesson or a message, for us. And so, so we have to, take care of our body. We have to survive. So we have to take care of our body. We shouldn't create this kind of hardship practice for the body.
Oh, that's the day in this ane. Maram supe kaso ane. That the condition to simje shingi tanda the katu the inside the dancing in the tatu jinjing locato bachi. Tatu jinjing locato bachi. Luigi katu ten tesu. That's Sanjay Chu to remember. Said surgery what she had done. What did you tone? I think around to be Sajanya only be Pumbu said that. Was Sajanya Ling Pumbutilla and the Jede was check and the Dimachona and Lieutenant Tit and I'm sure to war. How about the time they came back on Lieutenant Tit and to war? The answer Taputumasuna, what you are going to catch him.
So, this is important, to take care of our body, right? Because it's very fragile, so you have to, take care of it. And because this is through this body, this contaminated body, that we can do the practice and eventually gain enlightenment, right? And so we have to depend on this body to achieve that, and therefore it's important to take care of it.
Sanjay, that Sajay will matches this one.
So the Buddha is maybe saying that don't do a hunger strike.
The Korea actually, Yama, today, Yongudo, Zoot, the Casare, the bandage, the Jeep, Diga Maguchu, and the Metata. Do Yoma, that's sure things. But the Zuchi number son you choose to Yawaji to share Omajun. Today you said what? Because the new read the chamber water, who do down, Lelo Marwa. No. Much injuries in the Geshe Langri. No. Come me to let them put new chamber water. In a good time, this is good nails in a carpenter. No, it's not the and the Zukan go ahead catch him inside.
So, like Rinpoche said, he visited in Korea. There were these people in Korea. They wrap their thumb around, with the bandage, and then they put a butter around it, like oil or butter, and
petrol,
then they
petrol,
butter, Marina.
좀 비슷하다.
So like a, so anyway, so they like a butter or some kind of oil, to lit, the fire on that, and then they said that's offering, the light offering. So they burn their whole thumb, they lose their whole thumb. And so that you don't have to lose your thumb to make butter light offering, right?
They are very proud. They show me. I've given up my thumb, make offering like sacrifice, like. So this is the wrong message they got. This is not a Buddhism, but somehow they are Buddhist monks, So I don't know where this, but they are showing to me like very proud. So yeah, so this is just something that came out came in my mind, yeah. So like that, yeah. Just on today in this another around so the rang the issue na rang seme yong the sanje temba yi samba to sangbochida. Samba kulo namda ji to ne chu de package mo chali yori. Wa marang somebody jigden shuji de je ne wa. Jigden shuji de indu ani gewa ya hochi sa to yo ma. Gewa di bige le kana dema shuji. Wa di gyuden ne samba be 최체배 갑이네 직된 최계 삼바지 돼요. 단 직된 최계에서 다 간다가 첩시 있어 돼요. 왔다. 인산 식 레벨하우스는 직된 최계에서는 식 다른 그 최계에서 최계는 첩시 돼서 진짜. 또 준비를 같이 보시네. 저바디 인정을 되고랬어. 미 통그랬어. 미 통주다. 근데 지금 누구도 와. 아니 간도 저바 있는 아주 별이네 최담스는 삼바도가 쓰고다. 사이 삼바티 콘체트. 최담스는 코멘케티. 뜻은 때 두자로 왔다. 그래서 산계 장점 조주가 세는 제 필요로 왔다. 안 딜레 그 콘체와 야가 싸체 피샤위는 아니 배선을 쉬우사그로 와. 그래서 그때 내가 좀 붙여요. 삼바 남다지로 와. 아니 저바 표비네 배 저바 표당 두시디 걸었는데 숨도 와. 나란주 나리야 때 라마타 때 지가서 왔다. 이제 개천보인데 대리슈니 수지 결이는 이런 접수 시스템이 때 장마체 규부 타고 제대지 표그로 와. 디나신지 보고요. 아마도 저바디 대랑체 코디 디님은 제거를 용을 믿게 통주리하고 향해서 지금 그때다 최대 첩시는 되게 되게 되게지는 접시대 되는 최계체는 직된 대로 왔다. 어디에 매버지 판에도 와. 아니 나는 그 중자들도 주다 당고에 백해체 모르도 와.
So all the things that we do, it becomes very much related, with the mundane, with the mundane things. So therefore, we are not able to practice the virtuous actions well. And so every the virtuous action that we try to, engage in, it becomes related, with the mundane, like 8 worldly concerns. So whatever you do, it becomes like even like when you make the offerings, they say, oh, you have to make the offerings very nicely. You have to arrange it beautifully so that people will see, and then people will say, oh, you did very good, like that. So to get that kind of name, and like that. So in other words, in other words, it's like that politics. So just to make look good, to others. And so so when we make the offerings, it's have to make offerings, just like in Tibet, which is saying that like in Tibet, when they make the offerings of the torma, you made a torma, with the tsampa, right, with the roasted barley flour, and so you use the worst condition the barley flour, to make tormas, and the good conditions you keep for yourself. The most expensive one in a good condition, you used to eat. But the bad conditions and cheap ones, you use to make the torma, to make offerings. So it shouldn't be like that, right? So, and so when you offer food, to a very important guest, you do the best, to offer the best, right? And like that, so that's how the offering should be, when you arrange it or when you make the offerings like that. And so anyway, so these are even the small things, are very important to know.
어디 내려셔. 세단데 대 인도산에다 아주 답이 샤워네. 왜? 다티체 다들이 잠깐 마시도 못은 나니가 쇼고가 봐. 지금 이제 단에 양 나니가 하병에 된대요나 니마 롱지 규샤로 봐.
So I think we're going to have to stop here for today. And then day after tomorrow, which will continue. But if any of you cannot come, then for their sake, which is going to, confer the transmission of these 8 verses of thought transformation text.
주주 개발 참시해. 그래도 그냥 overtime shadow.
So we're supposed to stop at 8. So going beyond that will become overtime.
Yeah, let's take a photo.
You have to pay more for that.
단 심지어 탐지기 이슈노부 내가 전조 주의 삼바이 다도 제번 점바쇼 간도 수단 도베지 단위 군래 맨다시 현라 삼바 타고이 초도 제번 점바쇼 쇼람 군도 단규라 도진이모 게마다 다시 마룬 제번은 센더도네 도버쇼 다시 녀베 심지어니 대동 잡을 내동 인지 대단 제버시 예버거도 진진쇼 달라 생계 차도지 시우로서 미지비 종가랑게 렘바는 개가시는 배워쇼 강은 달리 펜다베 로치고 다시 신도미 내지는 신예 담바 따워쇼 또나 뭐다 규바이 펜데만은 굴라고 마이 내다 동네도 사회 달라 렘바쇼 대다 군년 주지게 도베치면 마바시 슈근 규모리 시베 셰메 치원데 주쇼사 올라서 다티 고서 장고 친구 군들이 사람 못 탑대 봐 그래서 대단들이 인도 배다 라마 그래서 무주도 반델라마 담반난 기대니 되게 투지 칠랍다 아니 규바 마한도 수여되고 인도잖아요. 그냥 상말로 한토도 이 잘로나는 봐. 구두가 있는 것도 되지 가나 소아니마. 군디 치유 먹는 거로 아니마. 야만난데 아니 남주 타는데 배든 남주 참을 치우차기로 왔다. 레드지 곧 남시다 양것도 되네랑 이게 아니 비그 웨이팅 룸은 구글을 쇼로 와. 구글을 쇼도 남상 안 로정 쓰기만 돼. 마교시 삼단계스 들어가나. 그리고 이 개침부터가 지금 송고로 왔다. 군주대 그때 소다 이 공부시에 된데 시기요를 라이네 또디 나란들이야 두두 동바이나 그디 이 삼단 쇼스 디 메시지 디 인서로 와. 어쨌든 디 군주 남주 탐투두 동바이든 남상 로정 쓰기만 삼단지 디 시기요스 드디스가 나서 제가 디데 나란주이네 아니 개개미도 아니면 상물로 그냥 상물로 대리 된샤나 예 야고요래 봐就是이네 고 지금 상무 당서에 돼 봐 아니 기부 담배 투지 친다고 요 봐 내 인도도 야고도 와
So this transmission and all of this teaching that Rinpoche just gave, he received this transmission many times from His Holiness the Lama, and so because there is this the lineage, the blessing carried down, from the lineage gurus, so many great holy beings, and therefore it has a great blessing. So now this is conferred to us, and we're very fortunate to have this this transmission received. And it is not that long, right? So it's very short, only 8 verses. So it will be good, to recite, and whenever you get a chance, or if you can make it to recite every day, that will be even better. So like Rinpoche mentioned that one time His Holiness the Lama mentioned to Rinpoche that before he used to travel a lot, right? So when there is a delay, or when that the plane gets cancelled or delayed, and then he will be sitting in the waiting room. And then he will go through this, and do this, read this, and then think about this, like practice this. So this is again, like I mentioned earlier, this is also like a message. So whenever we get a chance, whenever we have a time, then we should also, read this and then contemplate on that meaning. Thank you, and we'll see you on the day after tomorrow again.
다기 진이
사베 교와데 벤란도 혼라 담베
개와
제조 로산 다바이 덴베 님보레도
세지쇼 하여다 좀 준대 근데 뜻이 제시나
로스
근데 제일 가야
내려도
네 쇼당 거도
So let's turn to page 39 for the mandala offering.
And they do it, such pretty much.
so shi bege jongje me do ta ge ra lin je ni de ken ba de san ge shin do me ge bu do go nam da shin la che ba shu ji de la de gu je ra de je nam ga ji le chu chu ge ba lo san de be de me sa song ji do we mu se ta do ne ju ji ye dang gu ru ra na ben de la ya ta ya beje ya beje de me no ma de
手饭，没弄水给的，
remember
야, 가장 더. 갑자 쉽죠. 여기도 갑자 쉽죠.
Okay, so we continue with the final loving prayer. Tenpa rinpa kurushan langye jo nije juze jana nije jo rangye jishin tobe langye shuda chebe changwe tabye tobe yike mumba saje ne jawe tenpa yuri teshu tenpa rinjin chage ma japa chabja nyamba juwe jose Ninja Jambo Yera Jaba Yepende Sawa Jaba Teje Jave Mejo Chede Lejo Janjo Langye Rimbe Ade Namye Yela Pade Jave Jaba Rindu Jonjo Amsan Dove Tinge Doje Gage Teje Meda Mebe Sena Gundo Jave Mawai Nanda Lamsa Dawa Maju Ande Teba Chola Juju Tujen Dula Doma Deyin Tode Namge Tato Tode Kashi Jato Shogwe Kyauju
태매연대
놀리.
Anyway.
오, 세메.
Yende Yazo Bema Xin Yamchon Chola Puxia Dago Tezon De Xie Setan Doma Xin Dagi Dembe Nema Dego Xin Se Xie Duzo Yongzo Tube Dambe Yambe Pebe Teze Ketan Tube Kibo Chocho Namjo Chawa Pewa Misele Nye Chabu Yona Be Kwame Duke Name Nyamba Zhenhua Nangzhou Mugi Jikwa Shine Beba Yazo Wuyong Keba Nangzhou Chendin Kendo Nangzhou Lalu Mugi Zebe Nigui Zhengbe Chadang Shine 牛多就别都些都过你，明末对你你别那些，那些你过你人你些你会做那么多，用作小事的人别了，明年你多那边，用作不做让我咱们。 等着去写送的话的，这边给少有我有多，简单点点小事吧，这边路多路就用吧，搞外调查这边有我，这边问的都是有我，我那不过现在喜欢，
世间有人间好方子，用作教解满好方子，地上等的有多少王多，当多去年上辈等见，就做不见不当等辈，人间轮变点点当下，等辈莫乱点辈有多少。大雷国为心脏的黑藏的我，法律永远，今年生亡并肩家族，下边世界法度真有你，多年你些送多就这那谢谢上界看见天主。刹那的莫点点家族，所望的所见的路路。